Hi, it's Jim here from the camera store. Today we're going to talk about sensor cleaning. Now on your digital SLRs, cleaning the sensor is what most people are scared to do. I'm here to tell you that it's not as hard as you think, it's really easy, but you do have to be careful. There are some products out there that are wet, you do use a liquid for them, so they can damage the sensor if you use too much. So I'm going to show you today how easy it is, but you do have to be careful. Let's start. Today we're going to clean the Nikon D700, a full frame sensor. We're going to use it for a couple of reasons. First, it's very easy to see. Second, very common camera, very common size. Now, the first thing you do when you clean your sensor is in your menu system, find the manual sensor clean or the mirror lockup for sensor cleaning. What that's going to do is lift up the mirror and actually expose your sensor. Step number one, just a ball blower, not compressed air, just a blower. Hold your camera like this at a slight angle, take the blower, and just blow the air in there. Now you don't want to touch the tip to the sensor. You can damage it. So here's rule number one for being careful. Don't push anything in there. Now once you do that, hold the camera flat. Today we're going to use one of these lovely little loops from Visible Dust. What this does is it creates a magnification factor on our sensor that we can look down on and see if we have any dust left. Now the air will get rid of anything that's loose, but I can guarantee you there's always going to be something stuck. The first thing we're going to try today is using this little device from Pentax. It is probably the easiest and best thing you can use to clean your sensor. First thing you do, you can see it's orange, of course. You dab it on the paper. You go into your camera and you gently, stress that, gently tap it to your sensor and you can get that dust off. To clean the device, dab it on the paper and you'll be able to see all of the gross stuff that's coming off of your sensor. The nice thing about the Pentax, it's reusable, it's easy to travel with, there's no harmful chemicals, nothing flammable about this, so your airline will let it on. Second thing we're going to use today is a product from Visible Dust called the Arctic Butterfly. Now this device, you flip a switch, it rotates, rubs the bristles together, creating a positive static charge, the same type of charge that you have on the camera sensor. Now this device is perfect in drier conditions, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. Not so good in some of the humid conditions. Sometimes the moisture gets stuck on the bristles and you can end up creating a smear. But I can show you how to get rid of that as well later on. Once you stop the spin from the brush, you take your camera and you simply brush it across the sensor left to right. To clean it, you spin it again and it cleans the bristles and then you can put it away. All right, so those are the two dry systems that you can use. Third, we're going to take a look at a very common wet solution from a company called Eclipse. Now this process involves a paddle. The nice part about the paddles is that they are specifically sized for your size of sensor. You have a full frame, you have a 1.3 and a 1.5 and 6 crop paddle. On the Eclipse, you take their fluid and you drop a couple of drops on each side of the paddle. Now it is an alcohol base, so it does evaporate fairly fast. You don't want to oversaturate the paddle. This is where you can cause damage. Over top of your camera sensor, you have something called a low pass filter. If there is too much liquid on the paddle, the liquid can get underneath of that low pass filter and damage or destroy your sensor. So only a couple of drops on each side. From there, you do the same thing that you did with the Visible Dust product, the Arctic Butterfly. You simply swab back and the opposite way and you're done. Now the most common question with this system is how much pressure do you use? It's very simple. The paddle is a very nice soft plastic. All you need is just enough pressure to bend. No more, no less. Just enough to bend. Those are the three main types of sensor cleanings that you can do for your camera. Two dries and a wet. All very simple, but a nice touch, gentle touch is required.